on that, and you don't be playing around. You got some commentary. You got some commentary on that. I'm not gonna read all of it, but I am gonna put this in there. Notice this is what you said on November 1st. Until you gain clarity on your situation, it can be extremely hard to see what is truly happening. When dealing with toxic, emotionally unhealthy people, they will detail you at every opportunity.
Derail.
Derail. I think you meant derail, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah, typo thing.
Okay. So they create a narrative based on lies that best suits their agenda. What were you thinking and feeling when you posted that November 1st?
A lot of what I post is inspired by either people I'm working with, questions I get asked, or my own personal experience, or a combination of all of those things. So I know a lot of people who are trying to heal after narcissistic abuse are struggling, and it's because we desperately want to see things how we want to see them instead of how they are, which is kind of like being in denial. And that's hard to accept sometimes because, of course, you have been presented with one person and you end up with something which is the complete opposite usually. But something I was thinking about in the break is the false self, referring back to someone else's question before, of the narcissist. It's like an actor. It's like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook, the romantic gestures and that heavily romantic movie. That's who we fall in love with, because the narcissist is like an actor. They play a role. Ryan Gosling could be a complete a-hole in real life. I doubt he is, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, we see what we want to see, and then Ryan Gosling is playing a role. And we all fall in love with that character. So you're falling in love with the character that the person wants you to fall in love with, not their true self. So, and not just that, they also try and fill you with their own thoughts, their own feelings. You're not allowed to be your own person. They want to kind of, it's almost like they want to mold you into who and what they want you to be. So I kind of wanted to remind people, because I think a lot of us forget, especially if you're still very close to the abuse, you forget really what's going on. You can't see until you're away and have distance. You can't see. So yeah, what I was thinking was trying to get that message across, that you can't see until you're out.
And do you get a lot of people who are in that position that they can't see?
Yes, I get people from varying stages of their healing journey. Some people are well out of it, completely understand who the narcissist is, what they did, the after effects of it, and they're just ready to heal and move on with their lives. I get those kinds of people, ranging from that to people who are maybe still in it, still love the person, and still holding on to that 0.001% of chance that they are not who they are showing themselves to be. Yes, so just back to when you asked me about when I was having my awakening, I guess, like, I didn't need to be convinced, whereas I find that a lot of people try and find reasons why the truth is not the truth.
Okay. All right. And that makes it difficult for them to either move forward or grow.
Very hard.
Because they fell in love with the character that's been portrayed to them. Because
that's hard to comprehend.
Yeah, hard to comprehend.
Yeah, and because normal people don't do that,
Well, and they're really trying to comprehend also just that point too, that person you're with was not normal, but they played it really good in that role that they played. They really fooled the victim that way.
Very convincing.
Post number two. Post number two. I'm gonna squeeze as much in this before you have to go, because I know the baby's gonna be calling you again at some point. So I don't want to. Okay, so point number two.
Yeah.
So everybody, it's not that Sarah is a diva and she just wanted to have a commercial break. she really has the baby there too. I don't want
Yes,
nobody
so
to
I
be
had
guilty.
to.
They're like, would you do that for? You never do that. And I was like, no, she really has. She needs to have a
Yeah, I
break.
had
That's
to tend
okay.
to the
Hey,
baby's
look,
needs.
if she want me to, hey, if
Yeah.
she want me to come over there and change diapers, I'll do that too, just to get her on the show. So I know how to change diapers, though. I want to clarify that. I named all three of my children, and I changed their diapers too. So I know how to change diapers. I just don't
Good.
want to do it anymore. I just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't blame
so
you.
well, you must be doing a good job because the baby's real quiet. All right, so narcissistic abuse is domestic abuse. That was posted on October 7th. And when you posted that one, you wrote this: narcissistic abuse is domestic abuse. If you've lived, if you've lived, if you know this is fact. I'll let you translate that. Whether don't mind me because I'm the king of typos. So whether it is within the family or with a romantic partner, it is domestic abuse and should be treated as such.
Mm,
Psychological scars don't always heal. What you are often left with after experiencing narcissistic abuse, especially for prolonged periods of time, is, and you list 5 different things there. I'm not going to ask you to name them.
mm.
So narcissistic abuse is no joke. You list 5 different things there. If the viewers would like to, or anybody who sees this later, would like to go and take a look at it, that was a posting that she did on October 7th. What motivated you? What were you thinking and feeling when you posted that?
Um, just it's a bit of awareness because that's what I try and do with my page is raise awareness. People don't, or I guess people see domestic violence and domestic abuse as physical abuse only. Most people in general. Well, I'm not being hit, so it's not abuse. So I think that's what keeps us in these situations longer because the person isn't physically hurting us, but they're doing everything else but. So it's kind of raising awareness that belittling, verbal abuse, gaslighting, guilting, shaming, stonewalling are all forms of emotional abuse and psychological abuse. And the reason why narcissistic abuse is called hidden abuse is because it is not obvious. It's not even obvious to the victim that they are going through something like that. You may just think that the person is moody, has depression, has past trauma that they haven't dealt with, has a different love language. That's what a lot of people kind of may believe. Because the narcissist has maybe told them these things, their excuses. It's abuse is abuse is abuse, whether it's physical or psychological, financial, emotional. So it's just kind of making people aware because I didn't know that what I was going through was domestic abuse until after. We don't often find out until we're out of the relationship that we were in an abusive marriage or relationship or family.
How long did it take before it kind of kicked in that you had experienced domestic abuse by going through that narcissistic abuse? Was it quite a while, years
Um,
later, or?
no, it was kind of at the time as everything was unfolding whilst I was still there. It took a little bit of a while to process that it was abuse because, you hear these horrible stories about physical abuse, and I know some victims of narcissistic abuse have also been physically abused. But I almost felt bad to label it that because I didn't have any scars. It wasn't physical on me. It was all internal. So it
Yeah,
took a while to process that and accept that I had been through domestic abuse. Mm.
right.
And I know
Uh,
other people struggle with that as well.
yeah. Um,
Mm.
I had 3 different posts that I wanted to highlight. I'm only going to highlight 2, but I am going to tell everybody, let's get ready for questions that you want to ask Sarah. Ask Sarah any question you like, and that doesn't mean I'm going to read it because I'm her bodyguard. I told her that in the prep show. Anytime we have questions, I'm the security guard. I keep the weirdos out, but I know all of you are not weirdos, Sandra. Do me a favor. Let's use the question section here on the Instagram Live. That's the little section with the question mark. Type your questions in there. That way I won't be covering up Sarah's face most of the time. And you know, the comments sometime, the comment section on the screen can get pretty big and it's hard to read it. But if you can, please use the comments, rather the question section, and we'll kind of go from there. My goodness, uh, I I have so much I want to ask you, and I'm really trying to have self-control. I wanted to keep you all to myself and ask you a bunch of stuff and pick your brain, but I see questions are going to start popping up now. But okay, I got to go. One I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you this one. It's dumb, but I'm a guy. Guys ask dumb stuff. So as I tell my daughters all the
It's
time,
okay.
you're going to get married, just be prepared. We have it's just dumb. So where did you come up with the name for your page?
Not proof and thriving. So I was brainstorming with my partner now, um, trying to think of something that was empowering. So not anything really focused on the narcissist,
Right.
something that was light, bright, and positive. And what was the aim? You do become not proof, and you do thrive once you do the work, once you do the healing, and you go within. And it doesn't mean that narcissists don't exist, because they are everywhere to varying degrees, but you see the signs early on, you know how to act on them. You are not seen as a worthy target. They go elsewhere because you have such firm boundaries in place, and you know who you are, and you self-validate. I know for me personally, I was a people pleaser. I'm a reformed people pleaser. I now check in with myself, and I still have to do it. Like, is this serving me or not? Do I want to say yes or no to this? And,
Right.
people push boundaries, not necessarily just narcissists,
Right.
everyone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was my partner and I.
Yeah. Great name though. Great name. And if you
Mm.
trademark that, make sure you give him a penny. And okay, I have to. I have to. There are questions that are there lining up, but I have to take the one off the screen real quick. It says, "Why do
Mm.
narcissist friends start crying and playing victim when I confronted him?" So why do they play victim when they get confronted?
Because that's going to get your attention and stop you from trying to make them accountable. They are always the victim. In their eyes, they're always the victim. They need to get away with what they want to get away with. Anytime anybody tries to make them accountable, they either rage or they turn into the victim. So yeah, this crocodile tears, just like a child would fake
Yeah,
tears.
thank you.
Yeah.
Miss, I see Mischievous has typed in here, not seeing the question section. So at the
Mm,
bottom of the screen, there's a little blurb that has a question mark in it. If you look at the bottom of your screen next to the comment box, there's a little thing that, matter of fact, it should show you that there's somebody already got a question in there, the number one in red. So that's it right
mm,
there. If you can't find it, just go ahead and use the comment section, but just keep the comments relatively short so that I can read them quickly. If they get too big, it gets we kind of lose them on the screen. Um,
excuse me.
I I'm gonna go to the question section. But I'm going
Mm.
to piggyback again. What are some new ways to create boundaries for the for mental peace? I assume they're looking at. What are some ways to create boundaries?
Ways to create boundaries. With most things like healing from narcissistic abuse, um, there's no cheat sheet. I wish there was. There's no guidebook. There's no easy way. There's nothing I can actually tell people do this and then everything's going to be fine. It's an inner job, the healing. So once you get clear on who you are, once you stand in your truth, once you maybe become a reformed people pleaser through doing all the work, um, that is where you know how to state your needs and wants comfortably. Because setting boundaries means that you state your needs and wants with comfort. You don't back down on them just because somebody doesn't like them. You're very comfortable and you don't care about the repercussions. So doing the inner work helps you get to that place, but there's no cheat sheet. There's no step-by-step process of do this, do this, do this, and then everything's fine. That's why we must do the work and have a shift in our own selves and a transformation so that the cogs kind of fit together and everything flows from there once you gain momentum. And it becomes very easy and a quick tip I give people is to ask yourself, am I hurting myself or healing myself by doing XYZ? If you want a quick way to establish boundaries, if you're going to hurt yourself, then you need to say no or state what you. If you're healing yourself, then go ahead and do the thing. That's a quick thing that people can do.
So again, for everybody, if you need to get a hold of Sarah and talk with her some more, feel free to check out her page. But that's a great big nugget of a treasure trove that you just gave right there. That's a good juicy nugget. If it does, they need to see whether it's helping them. Is that what you said? Healing them?
Yeah, if something is going to help your healing or hamper your healing, and then choose and then act accordingly based on that. If you just need a quick way to set boundaries, but to feel comfortable within yourself to set boundaries and be consistent with them, because setting them is fine. But if you break them because somebody has a hissy fit about it, then that's not really setting boundaries with conviction. Once you do the inner work, you happily do that regardless of how anybody else feels, because you feel happy and content.
Right. And not always put the focus on the narcissist, correct? Because that was one of the things that really drew me to doing this with you. When you said that in our pre-show prep, I just like, oh my goodness, I just want to I'd hug you from here, because the whole purpose of healing is taking the attention off of the narc.
Yes. They've had all the attention. They've had too much. They monopolize our time and our energy, and that's where you reclaim yourself back by focusing on yourself. And I can't stress that enough. And a lot of people are still stuck in, but I love him, but he's hoovered me and he's done this, done that. Those things happen. I'm not trying to say that anything bad about people who say and do that, and if they're at that stage. But when you can focus on yourself, then you can open up the door to your healing. Right. No one can do that for you, though. You have to make the decision.
Right. If someone is dealing with a narcissist and they're having trouble during the child visitation, somebody put that on the screen, and the narc is manipulating the children. Food for thought on that before I go to some other questions here.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of my area of speciality, co-parenting. So we must heal and get the tools and strategies in place so that we can help our children with what we know. You are not going to be able to stop the narcissist from saying these things, doing these things, parental alienation, lying about you, trying to poison your child against you. You cannot do anything to control that. All you can do is control your home and how you raise your child. And you, as the emotionally healthy parent, need to get to that place of emotional health so that you have the tools and strategies in place to teach your children how to, because the other parent is always going to be in their life. They're going to love them unconditionally. But your child cannot fall victim to narcissistic abuse if they're able to set boundaries, if they're not a people pleaser, if they self-validate, and they learn that from you as one of their first teachers. Can't control what happens over there, but you get to a great place, then you can help your children.
Right. But the person has to get to a great place is what you're saying, though, right?
Yes, because you can't teach them what you don't know. Because when you co-parent, your child is either going to fall victim to narcissistic abuse or possibly, depending on their age, take traits of the narcissistic parents on board. So you really need to, and I say this to my clients, you have to work 1,000 times harder to parent because there's a lot of undoing and redoing to do. But you do it because it's for your child and you want to give them the best chance possible to fend for themselves and not fall victim, because it's basically all the things that you wish you'd known. Because if
So you're essentially putting into the child what somebody didn't give you, so that they don't have to walk down the path of pain that or have a painful set of circumstances cross their path the way it crossed let's say our path.
Yes,
right?
And your child becomes narc proof, even despite the fact the other parent is unhealthy and the narcissist. You give them the tools and strategies to become narc proof so they can deal with that, how they're going to deal with it, but they don't get the negative impact. Obviously, they're going to be hurt as they grow older, but they're going to see things very clearly for themselves.
We've got everybody coming on here. We got some questions here. Let me pick this one. 6 minutes ago, what are some new ways to create boundaries? I think we touched on
Oh,
that
we
for
did
the
that one.
mental.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah.
that one already, so I'm going to pull that one out. We're
Yeah.
going to go back over here, and I'm going to go here 9 minutes ago. I can't cut away from my abuser totally. How do I break free? Why can't you cut away? Well, as for you, I need to be quiet. Go ahead. You
Yeah.
were saying.
Yeah, well, you need
Sorry.
to decide what kind of life you want to lead. Do you want to be back and forth with this person, taking up your time and energy, or do you want to free up your time and energy so that you can focus on yourself and cultivate healthy relationships and friendships? Because the only thing that will happen, and the only guarantee, although I'm not a psychic, I don't have a crystal ball, the only guarantee I can give you if you keep staying in this dance is that you're going to get more of the same. If you do the work, cut them off. The first step is cutting them off. Um, it's easy to say, not so easy to do, but you need to block and go no contact, especially if you have no children. There is nothing in that direction for you, and realize that there is life after narcissistic abuse. And you just need to make the step and make the decision that you are worth more than that. But no one
And
can
it's
tell you that. You have to get there yourself.
and they have to be patient with themselves
Mm.
as they go through that process, right?
Yeah, kind. You got to be kind and gentle. Forgive yourself. But the clarity comes when you don't have the noise around you. Mm.
What would be the noise? So if somebody's asking, well, what's the noise?
Uh, that is having allowing the narc to have access to you. So if you haven't blocked them, they can still contact you, they can still talk to you, they can still reel you in. That's noise and distraction from your future self. So maybe always think about who do you want to be in 12 months' time, because the narcissist shouldn't really be in that picture if you want to be emotionally healthy and thriving. Like it's not possible. Those two don't exist in the same place, in my opinion.
Right. And
Mm.
then the person has to make sure. I'm going to go back to something you said that was very important earlier that I didn't mention. I try to mention things again,
Mm.
just in case somebody misses it. Plus, a lot of guys watch this, and sometimes we're not that bright at the first time you tell us something. So
Yeah.
hey, be careful now. You're making a too happy face when I said that. Okay, so, so you've had experience. You've had experience with that. How we can think sometimes. So
Uh,
you mentioned about doing the
yes.
work.
Mm.
That part is very valuable based upon what you've been saying. That if a person doesn't do the work, they haven't really begun the process of going down a healing journey.
No, and I do get the question a lot, like, what is the work? Like, put it this way, if you do nothing, nothing is going to change. With two emotionally healthy people that happen to break up or fall out of love, time passes and everyone moves on. With trauma-based relationships, whether they're within the family or romantic, you have to do something. Something has to happen and change for the healing to occur. The narcissist isn't going to change. They don't want to. What they do serves them. If you hang around, you're just going to get more of the same. That's just what happens. Um, but something has to change, and that change comes from you extracting yourself and focusing on yourself and having a good look, with the help of a coach, a counselor, a therapist, at least somebody who has experience with narcissistic personality disorder, to understand like what you've been through, how did you get here, how can we move forward to where you want to be? Because without
And
that understanding, you can fall victim to narc abuse again, or not really realize until much later.
and they get the understanding by doing the work and having a support group or knowledgeable therapist or a knowledgeable coach that has dealt with
Yes.
behavior,
Yeah.
individuals who have behavior issues.
Yes. Like a lot of people I work with, they have therapists or counselors or have done in the past, and they've reached a certain point in their healing, and it just stops because there's no future focus. There's no how do I get from here to where I want to be and out of this position. Because understanding the situation is great and understanding yourself, but you have to have a bit of a plan to move forward so you can live your life happy and achieve everything you want to without the echoes of this abuse following you everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, look at another question for you there. Here in
Mm-hmm.
just a second, let me pop that up there. One that was 14 minutes ago. how do you deal, we kind of touched on that, with narcissists and co-parenting, especially when they use withholding as a control?
Yes. Well, I've actually got, well, not yet, but I'm going to be doing a parenting course
Cool.
specifically for parenting with narcissists because it is an uphill battle. It is not easy. And there is no, I mean, I say the word co-parenting, there is no co-parenting. Co-parenting happens with two emotionally healthy parents. You have to be emotionally healthy, and the other parent is going to be emotionally unhealthy. So you have to always be 10 steps ahead. And like I mentioned before, you focus on your child and instill in them all of the things that you learn, all the strategies and all the tools so that they aren't going to fall victim to the other parent and they aren't going to be needing therapy in years to come. So the narcissist will continue the abuse, that's a given, whether it's through the child or directly to you. And you need to arm yourself, get to a place of healing, depending on your children's age, use age appropriate language to just have these discussions with them. But I do have a course that I'm working on in the new year for this particularly.
Yeah, I look forward to publicizing that on all three of my public service platforms. Because no, because a lot
Thank
of
you.
people they need, oh hey, listen, hey, it don't, hey, I'll do it. I'll do it. If it has to do with breaking free from a narc, living a narc free life, I'm there to promote it. Somebody put on the screen there for us that there seems to be no easy way out, but I'm going to have to defer back to what you said earlier. The person has to focus more on themselves and their children. Stop giving the narc so much attention is what I'm getting from what you're saying, because you're the
Mm-hmm,
co-parenting expert dealing with a narc, not me. When a
mm-hmm,
person gets caught up in everything the narc is doing, sometimes they need to remember, and I'm going to piggyback something you said, I think it was in the first segment, it may have been here, that they're dealing with a child. So they're going to bring a new supply and put it in your face. It's like, it's just a new toy. It's like kids on a
mm,
playground. Everybody's playing nice
yeah.
with one another, and here comes the narc, and they don't want to play nice, and so they go to another sandlot and they bring over some toys and go like, look what I got,
Yeah.
just to get a reaction out of you. And what would
I
a
think it's a
kid do?
great thing. It's a great thing when they get new supply because they're off your back, at
Oh
least for a
yeah,
little bit. Like,
free. You'd be like,
so
oh my goodness.
that's, yeah, a bit of breathing space. But I know a lot of people don't see it that way. What people need to understand, and it's something that it's hard to communicate, is a narcissist, especially a covert narcissist, has to look normal. So if they're on their own, they don't look like they can function normally. They have to look like they are absolutely fine, nothing's wrong with them. So of course they're going to have new supply and play happy families. They're going to do that. You need to get to a place where you don't care and it's actually a positive that they have new supply because then they're off your back. They're not trying to hoover you. You don't care what they're doing and they're out of your face, at least for a short period of time. They always do try and come back. But yeah, they need to have supply. They function with supply. It's their fuel. It's their energy. Like it's air for us. They need it. They cannot be on their own for prolonged periods of time.
When people try to do the work so that they are are more grounded than they were before, or at least they're getting back to the way they were, being grounded, and the narc doesn't have that hold on them, doesn't have their hooks into them, then it's easier for them when they're grounded to see not to take everything personal. Yes or no?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people do see it as, what have I done wrong? Why are they doing this to me? Are they going to be better with the new supply? It's nothing. How the narc treats you is nothing to do with you as a person. It's 100% to do with who they are and how they function dysfunctionally. They're disordered with their thinking and their processes, and they're not able to think critically. They have very little or no empathy. So how they treat you has zero to do with you and what you've done or not done, and
Mhm.
everything to do with how they are. So that's why they are exactly the same with you as they are with this person, and this person.
Yeah.
It may appear to be happy with the new supply, but it appeared to be happy with you as well in the love bombing stage.
Right.
Mm.
So trying to chase, some people find themselves trying to chase the reasons why they keep getting this narc either hoover them or put the new supply in their face, or didn't they really mean that? Now they're being nice to me. they'll be on this roller coaster hamster wheel emotional ride, not knowing that the narc wants to keep them away from doing the work, as you've described.
Yeah. They love drama and chaos in general. Drama and chaos. If they can cause drama and chaos and get you to react, it's a happy day for them. So
That's crazy.
indifference.
Hey, Theyre, I'm sorry. That's just plain out. I'm sorry. I just have to say it. Every time I hear that, I've had other people say that, but in my head, I'm going like, that is crazy. That is absolute. I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
I know everybody. I know it's crazy,
Yeah.
but I just have to get on my soapbox and go, 2 seconds. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is the dumbest waste of time of human space to create havoc. But they do it, don't they?
Yeah, because it's supply and it's power, it's control. It's like, I got to do this. I got you to react. I got this person angry. And it's entertaining. So take yourself out of the game and focus on yourself. Starve the narcissist. Live your life. That's why I always say focus on yourself, because even focusing on a narcissist is giving supply indirectly, because it's taken away and
Right.
stealing from your own
Right.
healing.
Right.
So we need
Right.
to take the shift off.
No, go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, yeah, you just need to take the focus off and always direct it back to yourself, where you're going, what you're doing, because they are not part of that journey. They're not part of your healing journey. If you want a
Okay.
narcissist to be part of your healing journey or to stay with a narcissist, I am not the person to help you do that, because I can't do that.
Okay,
I can't, yeah.
that's pretty good. You should you should put that as a huge disclaimer across your bio. Like, don't bother me if you plan on trying to stay with the narcissist, because you're going backwards. You're
Yeah.
going in the wrong direction. Totally
Yeah.
wrong
And
direction.
I do understand that people are hopeful and they want to get back to the person who they met, but it's a delusion to think that that person was real, because they weren't. And there's just things you have to work through. If you're at that point where you're hoping things are going to change, you have to process what you've experienced and get to a place of acceptance that nothing is going to change. And you can test that if you like. You can stay for as long as you want to, but one guarantee is that it will not change. He will not change. Nothing will change unless
It'll
you
get
make it
worse
change.
at that. Yeah, unless you
I
make a
think
change.
you've
Matter of fact, somebody
heard
put
many
on
times. Yeah.
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 I,
No, I just
I kind of
when
lost
you
the signal.
leave and go back,
Yeah. Want
when
to
you
say that
leave and
again?
come back, the abuse escalates
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
hearing. That's
they
what
want to
people
punish you. Yeah.
yeah. And that's
Mm.
okay. I'm going to say that's crazy again. Okay, somebody put on there they can't leave unless they go to a different country. Your thoughts on that?
There's actually somebody who I was working with who did leave the country because they had to get as far away from this person as possible. So you do what is necessary. I mean, I know you're saying that, and I know maybe my answer doesn't really help you, but you have to do what is necessary to live your life how you want to, narc free, narc proof, without these kinds of people in your life. You have to make that decision. And it doesn't matter if it's family members or not, because family members don't have the right to abuse you, and you don't have to have them in your life,
Right. And
as far
at
as
the
I'm
same
concerned.
time, a person needs to be mindful that if they don't want to be with somebody who's cold and cruel to them, that's okay. It's okay to speak up and try to set
Yeah,
boundaries, and they can't work with it, then you need to do other resources, and they need to make a change. It's that simple, because you
they do need
deserve
to make a
better.
change. And it's
Yeah.
also like holding on to something because it's better than nothing is something I hear a lot of. Like, I don't think, because people may not have seen it or experienced it, there are healthy people out there. There are healthy
Yeah.
relationships out there. You
Yes.
get emotionally
Yeah.
healthy and you see who comes and gravitates towards you. You just got to test
Yeah.
that theory, and
Yeah.
why not? Why not? Because you
Yeah.
deserve happiness.
Yeah, you've already tried the other theory of sticking around unhealthy, and you see where it gets you. You go
You
the
get the
other
same.
way, it's going to be just the same. There's always a negative and a positive. You go the other
Mm.
direction. How do you deal with dog whistling type of gaslighting? Actually, you know what? That kind of leads to something I was going to do. What's your thoughts on gaslighting?
It's something that I believe all narcissists do. I mean, not just narcissists, other people do it as well. They gaslight, in my opinion. gaslighting is one of the biggest issues with narcissistic abuse and hidden abuse, because especially when you're in the thick of it, you start to distrust your own thoughts because the other person is so convincing at giving you their version of what happened or what was said. And because you are in a state of like hypervigilance, especially when you're in the thick of it, and your self-esteem is at rock bottom and they have ground you down so far, you take on what they have said as if it's your truth when it's actually a lie. And they are very convincing. Narcissists will convince themselves a lie is the truth. And I guess they are great actors. They're very skilled. They've had 30, 40, 50, 60 years of doing this. So they do it without batting an eyelid. So it seems convincing.
This is why doing the work on oneself, you know, even if it means you're doing the work right in front of the narc, don't give them all the attention. Focus it back on you, even if they're sitting right in the same room with you.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of them. Recognize that they're a little child who gives off a lot of threats. And that if you treat them like the little child that they are, in the sense of not giving them your energy and staying above them in our response, and not give a reaction, right? Not just be giving our reactions left and right. And,
yeah,
you know, I can't believe you did that. I can't. They live for that. They live for that. Moment.
Yeah, just give nothing. Be very one-dimensional, dull and boring, and they will have to go elsewhere for supply. That's the thing. Like what? people don't believe me when.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna tell you that should be a book. That's your book. That's your book right there. Dull and boring. Dull and boring. You should call it. You should write a book called "Dull and Boring: The Way to Treat a Narc." You know, step by step. And you would. I don't know what you put in it. I only think of the cover, so I don't. I'm sorry. All right. You were saying something very. Yeah. You were saying something. Yeah, a step-by-step guide of co-parenting or whatever it may be. Just call it dull and boring. Just anyhow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't go all night. I was gonna say I'm sorry I can't go all night, but I'm gonna go until you decide you're ready to go.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I think probably 10 more minutes.
Yeah, I was thinking to say, yeah, that's about. I think that's about what I got before I have to cut off the feed. Okay, but yes.
Okay.
Go. You were gonna see. Do you see? I have a question here. I know you're gonna say something, but I'm gonna get this so nobody thinks I hate them. We may have answered it already. Is there a chance you can get involved with another narc during the healing process from the previous narc?
Absolutely.
That's bad. That's sad.
Sometimes when we're in the healing journey, we feel like we have, I'm happy now, I'm away from the narcissist, things are happening in my life, things are good. And then you kind of stop the healing process, stop working on yourself. And of course, we're going to meet people because we are happy and in a good place and ready to date. So the healing process, as far as I'm concerned, is never ending because there's so many layers. And yes, the first layers are the hardest and most painful, but then as you start peeling back, you get close to who you are, your true self, and it becomes a beautiful journey of self-discovery. So whilst you're healing, yes, if you haven't healed on a deep enough level, narcissists are still going to come into our lives. If we aren't recognizing the red flags and acting on them, they're going to keep pushing and weasel. So a sign that you need more healing and you need to keep going is if you attract another one. That's a clear sign that you haven't gone deep enough. And what I kind of say to people, if you think that you've healed, go and do the healing back again. Because when you think you stop, there's more. There's always more. I did have someone say, like, I healed back in January. There is no date, there's no month. You don't heal a ongoing journey, I believe, but it just becomes less painful and more exciting and more fun, and you get more clear on who you are.
Yeah, to go back to a narc or start a relationship with a narc all over again is proof that the person hasn't done the work to its completion.
Yes. Yeah.
So one of the worst things is then for a person to start something and not finish it. So the key is to work until it's finished, and technically it's never really finished, right?
Yeah.
Right, sir?
You gotta work on yourself, invest in yourself, whether you go on your own. If you go on your own, Just bear in mind, it's not going to be as quick, and life gets in the way. Obviously, we have responsibility. If you work with the guidance and support of a coach, you will have quicker results. You will get to where you want to be a lot quicker. You will get the tools and strategies to go off on your own and, yeah, become narc proof. They're going to come to you. They're going to go away because they are not going to be able to penetrate you. You're going to be operating on a different level as well.
Right. And no one outside of ourself, unless it's the one that created gravity and the planet, is going to make us better. So we have to bring something to the table ourselves. And part of the reasons why the narc works so well, they can make a person believe that they're the only ones that can make us better. You know.
Yes, it's an inside job.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Wait, that's your third book right there. Inside job.
Inside job.
You, hey, look.
Yeah. There's no one can take responsibility for your healing except you. Once you decide, you have to do the work. You can get help and guidance and support if you want faster results. You can go on your own, but you have to do the work. Otherwise, you will be exactly in the same place. Like I have people who have messaged me at one point, and then maybe 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, still having the same issues. It's not their fault. They just don't realize that they have to do more than reading posts and watching videos. That's education and awareness. But you have to actually take these tools and strategies, put them into action, apply them to your life, and practice. And yeah, that's where the shift happens.
It is really hard to shift away from the couch, even though we could sit and watch exercise videos and read exercise magazines and never get off the couch and go break a sweat. To do the work means to break a sweat and be honest with ourselves and work on ourselves.
Yeah, and it's like a gym membership. If you go to the gym, you know nothing about the machinery, what exercises to do, nothing like that. You go in and you maybe haphazard and just go and try a few things and not really get results because you're just doing what you think, but you're kind of not really sure. There's no structure. Or you can go and get a personal trainer. They're going to have a structured program for you and help you get the results you want, and guide and support you throughout that journey. So that's the kind of like analogy of, working with somebody to help you get to where you want to go. You'll go in, people try different exercises. You don't really know what the machine does, but you think, oh, it's doing something.
I'm doing something. And then end up having some guy or gal come up to you that don't know what they're talking about either, trying to tell you. Now you're both not doing anything worthwhile. And then you end up in a relationship and you're there with another narc again.
Yeah.
Hopping from relationship to relationship, hopping from relationship to relationship, from apartment to apartment, job to job. And they're wondering, why is my life like this? Because you attach yourself to a narc and you're not doing the work to better yourself. It's not to bash the victim, but it's to open the eyes of those so that you're not prey anymore. You're not someone's prey.
Yeah,
anymore.
You have to be willing to demand more for yourself and realize that you are nothing of what the narcissist said you were. You are complete opposite of what they've said you are, and their words mean nothing. And you need to get back to that confident, happy, smiling person. Because, they strip away our happiness, but that was their plan from the beginning. Don't let them continue to do that. Stop it today. Like, it ends today. It has to stop. They're taking too much.
You know what? We could be talking all night, and that's not going to happen because I remember what it was like when I had babies. And I really didn't mind talking to my friends. And then in the back of my mind, I'm going like, okay, I got to get done here. I got to go check on my baby.
Yeah.
And my babies, they'd be totally asleep. But I go like, I just need to go check on them and then I'll be okay. So I need you to go check because I'm worried about your baby. And I'm over here. I'm over here in California.
No, my partner's got her. She's quiet now. But
you have spent more than enough time. You have spent more than enough time with troublemaker me, who loves to talk about getting this awareness out more and more. You have honored me more than you know. So I got to tell you this before you go. So this is what it is. I've got over here on my wall a list of people that I want on my show, and I mark them off when I get them on my show. So today you have made me happy because I get to officially mark you off, and then I'll do my happy. I'm not going to get up and do it. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I'll do a happy dance right here. So I normally
Chair
do my
dancing.
happy dance. I do my happy dance. I normally do it off screen. That's only the second time I've done my happy dance on screen, on doing this live thing.
Okay.
And I want you to know I am honored and I am privileged. We're gonna end everything. I got to as many as we possibly could.
Mm,
Please do not feel you're alone if you're listening to this. Please reach out to Sarah. And
yeah.
if Sarah isn't able to get to you right away, she can always redirect you, or feel free to reach out to me. I will redirect you back to
Mm.
Sarah. Um, so, so everybody, do the best you can. Sarah, anything that you can think of you'd like to pass on to everybody to keep in mind as they deal
Um,
with narcissists?
yeah, I'd just like to say if any kind of help you need, and or you're not even sure what kind of help you need, please go to the link in my bio because there are several options there depending on where you are in your healing journey. And I have a lot of free resources in my Facebook community, which can also be found on the link in my bio. Also, the reason why I'm here doing what I'm doing is because I've been there. I know how it feels. I know how this can almost destroy you. And I also know how you can have a bright and thriving life after this and meet healthy, loving people and have healthy, balanced relationships. And, as you heal, most of your relationships, and the goal should be all of your relationships and interactions are healthy and positive, loving, balanced, and nurturing. That is the goal. Everybody wants love and connection. Don't rush into dating
No.
if you feel still fragile. If you are going to rush into dating, please just use it as a test. I would use it as a test of what you've learned. Do I know my boundaries? Do I know the red flags? But of course, if you would like one-on-one coaching, you would like use the link in my bio. The group program is coming up in the plan is for January of next year, which is a group coaching and mentoring program with self-paced a self-paced module as well, modules, and the community. Okay, but you are not alone. I'm doing this for a reason because I've been there and I know that you can get out of it. And I believe in all of you. And it sounds cheesy, but if I can do it, anyone can do it. Honestly,
Listen.
just
Does
got to do
not
the
does
work.
not does not sound cheesy, because that's my job. So yours sound like real juicy meat that was perfectly said, and truly, you are an amazing woman who loves to not hurt, but help people from being hurt. I
Yeah.
don't know where what just happened to me. I don't know. No, you did this even from the pre-show. When I was done with the pre-show with you, I was acting like a 2-year-old. And so I was like, I was so happy you're going to do the show. But I'm saying you love to help people who have been hurt.
Mhm.
It's obvious, but you're very skilled at it as well. You're very insightful. You're extremely, extremely well researched about what you're saying before you ever say it. You speak in a
Yeah.
very deliberate way because you're trying to reach someone's heart and give them a chance to reason on what you're saying. You're not just spewing out
Yeah.
information, and you have set the bar pretty high for whoever comes on after you. Everybody that's coming on over the next 2 weeks has got a really high bar. You just cause pressure for everybody else. I had somebody actually tell me that. They were like, "You didn't tell me Sarah was coming on. I don't know if I would have gone after her." So
we're
thank you very,
my
thank you.
we're all in this together. We're all in this
Yes,
together. This is a
that's right.
community.
That's right.
Mm.
That's all we are. To Sarah, thank you very much. I love each and
Thank
every
you.
one of you that have been here. And Sarah, please go enjoy your baby and your partner and have a good time. Thank you very
I
much.
will.
Take care.
Thank you,
We'll see
everyone.
you
Thank you
later.
for having
Thank
me.
you so much.
Thanks,
Bye,
man.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Till next
Bye.
time.